Good afternoon. My name is Hyung-Chul Ra at Chungbuk National University. I'd like to thank Dr. Hong for inviting me for this seminar. So today, I'd like to talk about the cardiac rehabilitation use case by using wearable sensors. So, which is part of the ongoing project. So I have DBM degree, so I'm not an MD. So this project is in collaboration with the Chungbuk National University Hospital. So first, let me introduce to the cardiac rehabilitation use case. So the cardiac rehabilitation of myocardial infarction patients is very important for the because it can reduce the recurrence of the coronary artery disease by 15 to 20% and CAD mortality by 25 to 40%. If I get nervous, I tend to speak faster. So if I talk too much faster, please let me know. Then I will make adjustments.
Could you please a little bit slower?
Okay. And so, however, due to the concerns that exercise may be dangerous for MI patients and the difficulty for the patient to come to the hospital every day, which they are supposed to, the current participation rate is at below 5%. However, if the exercise can be monitored with the help of wearable devices, the patients can safely exercise at home instead of coming to the hospital, which can increase the participation rate and benefit more MI patients. So the cardiac rehabilitation is a good disease model for the patient monitoring by using wearable devices. The aim of this use case is to provide patients who need cardiac rehabilitation with a solution for monitored exercise at home. So, by using wearable devices and collaborative workflow, the patient's condition can be constantly monitored at their residency instead of coming to the hospital, which makes them hustle. And the lifelog data of patient during the exercise will be monitored within the patient's mobile cell phone and in real-time base, and will be evaluated at the time of hospital visit by the medical staff. So expected result may include the increased patient compliance for the exercise. In this case, will be the cardiac rehabilitation. By providing feedback from the physicians to the patients during their visit to the hospital, and also increase the participation rate of the cardiac rehabilitation from current 5% up to the 30%, which will reduce the recurrence of coronary artery disease, hopefully up to 20%. So, so can you see my mouse moving? Okay, thank you. So this work is a part of the international project in which the 18 organizations from 4 countries, including Belgium, Canada, South Korea, and Netherlands are participating. So this project is for the seamless patient monitoring or seamless patient care. And it is called, because currently when patients have chronic disease, they come to the hospital and the hospital measure the patient's condition. But only when they come to the hospital, it's a very narrow point of time comparing so that we do not have any data when they stay or when the patients stay at home or their residency. So we'd like to have their data or monitor their condition as long as possible by using wearable devices. So this project is called PARTNER, which stands for Patient Care Advancement with Responsive Technologies and Engagement Together. So this slide illustrates the lifelog data workflow for the cardiac rehabilitation use case. So the 4 kinds of lifelog data, including heart rate, ECG, walk count, and exercise time will be collected by using wearable sensors. So heart rate and ECG data will be collected by ECG sensors, and heart rate will be monitored at in real-time base at the patient's mobile phone. So the alarm will go up if the patient heart rate goes above the target heart rate. And the heart rate will be collected and saved at the big data server. And from there, the summary report, for example, frequency of maximum heart rate and frequency of target heart rate during exercise will be generated. For ECG data will be also collected, will be saved, collected and analyzed at the big data server. So when there is abnormal ECG pattern during the exercise, an alarm will go off to the patient, and it also will be reported as a summary report for the frequency of abnormal ECG during exercise. And the walk count and exercise time will be collected by smartband, and this data will also collected and analyzed at the big data server for the summary report, including sum of walk count and sum of exercise time. And patient will manually input the rating of perceived exertion and chest pain or abnormal symptoms during exercise at their cell phone. And patient target heart rate and patient's maximum heart rate will be collected from the physician's prescription. Okay, so this slide is for the platform overview for the cardiac rehabilitation use case. So there are, you see on the left side, the MD portal for the physicians and patient portal for the patients. So MD orders at the MD portal, MD orders the remote patient monitoring by using wearable sensors and prescribe the target heart rate after the collaborative diagnosis with the cardiology and rehabilitation medicine department. And then the patient at the patient portal will register, will receive the device and register their device, the wearable device, and download the mobile app on their patient's cell phone to collect the live log data in the big data server. The live log data in combination with EMR data will be analyzed at the big data server. So when there is abnormal ECG pattern during the exercise, and the alarm will go off, and the alarm record will go to will be recorded at the medical record. And also during the exercise, patient heart rate will be monitored in real-time base at their patient's mobile phone. And when the patient heart rate goes above the target heart rate, alarm will go off at this patient the mobile phone, so that the patient will reduce the exercise if they get the alarm message. So in terms of portal interface of the platform, the MD portal has 4 sections, including appointment calendar and counsel requests from the patients, and today's patient list, and the patient report. So the patient report at the right bottom will display the latest summary of the live log data of the for the cardiac rehabilitation of a patient. So as you see, the patient 001, its latest live log data will be displayed. So and then if there is something to look at, it will show. You're supposed to have some sort of the highlight to indicate there is some abnormal signs. For example, frequency of abnormal ECG during exercise. Current so here there's the value is 0, but if there is or like certain numbers, then it's supposed to have some sort of highlight to suggest to the physician to look at it and then consider its implication. The basic concept of the patient care at the MD portal is to help the physician when they see the outpatients by developing workflow for each process. For example, here we do have the diagnosis workflow, and from the treatment, we do have the treatment workflow and prescription workflow. So in next slide, I will discuss a little bit more. So the patient care will show a list of the patients that physicians examined, and for the diagnosis and treatment, a workflow interface for each category will be developed. This is an example of diagnosis workflow. So when for the patient symptom, here we do have this chest pain and difficulty to breathe, and then clinical distance supporting system will suggest certain disease to check, and it will be followed by workflow for diagnosis and workflow for treatment. So at the patient portal, the patient portal dashboard has 4 sections as the MD's dashboard, which include calendar appointment calendar and my report and management of my medical record and counseling request to the physician and my health IoT. So the my record will display the summary report of the life log data for the cardiac rehabilitation for the last 2 weeks of period. And my health IoT will show the patient's wearable device list. So you see here the 2 smartband and 1 ECG sensor. At the patient portal's disease menu will display a list of medical record of the patient oneself. So it's kind of the personal health record. The patient workflow for outpatient examination will be developed at the patient's prescription menu. So, and then daily record will show a list of self-reported records for any symptoms or discomfort, especially during the exercise, because that will be matched with their life log data. And then the medical records, the patient can manage the physician's access to the patient's health record from various sources, for example, EMRs and life log data and etc. And that's all for my presentation. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your excellent presentation. Is there any questions or comments on his talk?
Thank you very much for the presentation from our partners or colleagues from Chungbuk National University and MedRIC. My question is actually on the link or how the data is linked to the electronic health or electronic medical record of the patients. So are they automatically uploaded into the EMRs or the EHR of the patients and stored in their in the big data server that you mentioned?
So currently, by the medical law regulation in Korea, the EMR are not supposed to come out of the hospital information system. So this platform is kind of for the research purpose. So we are currently having, we will try to get the medical information from the patient EMR, but at this point, we cannot bring the life log data into the hospital information system to incorporate those life log data into the EMR patient EMR yet, but we are trying to do that for the research purpose. Is that answer your question? Yeah.
We have another question from the Philippine side.
Sure.
Okay. Go
Good
ahead.
afternoon, sir. Thank you for the very interesting presentation. My question is all on the patient interface side, the visualization of performance. So, for example, if I'm the patient, can I see like reminder prompts if I'm exercising enough or if I'm lacking exercise as a patient?
So currently, yes. So in real time, so the mobile app will have the minimum or maximum heart rate that was prescribed by the doctor for the cardiac rehabilitation. So if the patient exercise to reach that target heart rate, that will if the patient work too less, then the app will send a kind of alarm. It's not alarm, but it suggests to it will let the patient know that you are not you are not reaching the target yet. But if they hit the target, then it will announce. It will verbal announce to the patient, so that they will have the real-time interaction from the mobile phone in terms of the heart rate. In terms of ECG, at this point we do not have the analysis algorithm yet, but we are trying to develop the algorithm so that when when there is abnormal ECG, and then when the ECG when the ECG data will be saved at the server, when you recognize the abnormal pattern, and we try to send the alarm message to the patient so that patient will calm down. But at this point, we do not plan to send those alarms to the hospitals yet, because we do know that they do not have time to monitor the patient 24/7. Yeah.
Okay, sir. And another question, can the patients view like a graph or a metric that can easily say if you're improving in your exercise between weeks or between days or between months?
So patient will come to the clinic every other week. So then they will get the feedbacks from physicians. So then their target heart rate will be adjusted based on their performance. So if their heart condition getting better, then their target heart rate will be increased.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sure.